Okay, I want to welcome everybody to the December 6th Public Council meeting for the town of Conception Bay South, our second last meeting of 2022. And we'll begin as always with our land acknowledgement. The town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan and the Inuit of Nunatsiavut and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of the province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Okay, adoption of agenda and minutes, adoption of the meeting agenda for this evening. Someone want to move that? Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Connors. Adoption of the meeting minutes for November 15th. Moved by Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Butler. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Business arising from previous minutes will be dealt with tonight in ongoing meetings in the future. We don't have any visitors, presentations, or petitions this evening. So we'll move right into the new business. And this evening, I'll begin with Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Just a couple of things I want to speak to this evening. November the 25th, Councillor Moores and our CAO Brian Crawley and myself, we visited the mosque in Manuels. We were joined by members of the RNC, and it was just a very pleasant, open exchange of conversation. They're quite happy to be here in Conception Bay South. The mosque is open, and they're welcoming the community they're on social media, and you can keep a watch for upcoming events. And we had a really pleasant visit there, and I look forward to things they'll be doing in the future here in our community. And the other item I want to speak to was on the 26th, on Saturday the 26th, we had our Stuff the Fire truck at Station 1. It was our community food drive in support of the CBS Paradise Food Bank. And I was there for a little while and helped collect some food items, met residents as they dropped by, collecting their food items and giving out some fire chief hats to some of the kids. And it was, we had a great response. Councillor Tilley actually was there for the latter part of that, of the food drive. And there was a lot of donations of all kinds that was collected, and it was greatly needed. Even, I mean, you know, Christmas always puts an extra demand on the food bank, and they're anticipating even greater need this year, considering the economic climate that we are in. I want to put out a special thank you to our fire chief, Heffernan, and his team for taking a lead on the event and doing such an outstanding job that afternoon. And so that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Gerard Tilley.
Thank you, Worship. A few things I'd like to bring ahead this evening. I'm not going to dwell much on the Santa Claus parade and the tree laying ceremony, because I'm sure Councillor Moores will be bringing that up. But it's great to see some big crowds there on Saturday, and the Christmas spirit is amongst us in CBS. The last item I'd like to bring forward is not from, I guess, a Ward 3 perspective. It's from my role as Chair of Public Works, and we just want to update residents regarding the ongoing issue with the Frog Pond area. Before I get into that, I'd just like to explain to residents, I guess, exactly how we get to where we are, like the tender process and that kind of stuff. So the town of Conception Bay South employs external engineers and contractors when completing all of our capital works projects, and such as the installation of water and sewer system. Our town, just like every municipality in the provinces of Newfoundland and Labrador, we're bound by the Public Procurement Act when selecting both engineers and contractors for those said projects. The external engineering consultant is responsible for securing all the necessary permits from the provincial government departments. This is a standard process which we regularly follow when completing our town work. And of course, everyone is aware, earlier this year, work commenced on water and sewer installation for the residents of Frog Pond Road. Much of the road and the materials beneath it had to be dug up to install the water and sewer material. There was groundwater that entered the trenches for the new pipe that had to be removed with portable pumps. This is typical on most of our water and sewer projects and is the only way to make trenches safe for our workers. We've confirmed with the engineer that no water was literally pumped from Frog Pond. Unfortunately, while this work was occurring, water did drain from the Frog Pond area. The water was not knowingly or purposely drained or pumped out by the contractor, but appeared to have occurred as infrastructure was installed in the immediate area of Frog Pond Road. This is not an uncommon occurrence, and we often see adjacent water level systems fluctuate when contractors complete water and sewer projects across the town. Nearby water systems, such as wells, go dry and typically slowly replenish as materials in the road settle and groundwater tables replenish. The contractor and consultant believe that this will likely happen in Frog Pond as well. Prior to construction, the lower end of the boggy area was contained by Frog Pond. The hard-packed earth beneath the road acted as a natural barrier to prevent the pond from draining. As soon as the road was removed and replaced with new materials, the water was able to drain on its own. Now that the materials under the road are compacting, that natural barrier appears to be returning, as we can see with the water back in the pond. While water levels in the bog continue to increase, and we believe groundwater and water levels will restore, more drainage is still possible as materials under the road continue to shift and settle. However, with time, the pond should return to its normal, natural fluctuating water levels. Members of council, senior staff, and our engineering consultants for this project met on site with residents a couple of weeks ago to discuss their concerns. It was a very productive and respectful discussion. Shortly after we had that meeting, residents actually went with our consulting engineers and our staff, and they provided those guys with some options as to what they felt what could probably happen to restore the water back. And they brought that back to staff, brought it back to us, and we will certainly look at any and all of those ideas. Some of the residents felt that a culvert was moved to a different area, which may have contributed to the problem of water draining from the bog. The engineering consultant took detailed surveys of the area before and after, and of course the work, and confirmed that no culverts have been changed or moved during this job. We were actually there on site, and the actual drain, when the water comes down, it's only surface water, and of course that culvert comes across and drains into the pond. So that wasn't an actual determinant for filling up the Frog Pond itself. Several residents have asked council if all the necessary permits were in place to complete this work. All work was completed in accordance with all the issued permits from provincial government. Compounding the problem was the fact that this summer, up to and including September and even October, it was incredibly dry, likely the driest we have experienced in many years. The bog, which we know has drained to low levels in the past, had to be completely replenished or refilled with water. And we often refer to, just think of a dry sponge. You know, a sponge has to be completely soaked before it's filled back up again and water overflows. We understand not everyone agrees with the engineering consultant's assessments of what happened, and will continue to assess the situation, taking local knowledge and input into consideration. If it appears additional work is required, council will do whatever it can to ensure that the work is completed to restore Frog Pond to its original condition. However, as of now, Frog Pond is refilling and replenishing on its own, so we will continue to monitor the situation over the coming weeks and months. There is additional work to be done in the Frog Pond area next summer, including the installation of the final course of pavement. And if further work is required, we will certainly do what we can at that time to remediate Frog Pond. Thank you. Anyone have any questions for staff or himself?
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. If no one does, did you have anything else that you wanted to offer at this time for any other items, or do you want to wait until your committee part?
No, I can wait till committee. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, thank you very much. And I can tell you, I've been on site every single day since I was away on vacation when this was being dealt with, but every single day since I've been on site and keep an eye on Frog Pond, as the residents are. I've met with some down there when I've been down, and very pleased to see water naturally coming back into Frog Pond. And hopefully it'll continue to do so. And I know that I think it was 2 weeks ago today that you met with the residents down there. I think I was told there wasn't any water there then. And there's definitely in the past 2 weeks, a significant amount of water has accumulated, and hopefully we'll see that continue, but we will continue to monitor that to ensure that Frog Pond does restore itself or is helped to restore going forward. Okay, nobody has anything else there. I'm just going to move right on to Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, very briefly, I had the opportunity earlier in the week to attend the graduation ceremonies for Holy Spirit High School. 243 graduates this year, and I just wish them all success in the future and in their future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. And I'm just going to say you're a little vague on the details of what happened that night. Actually, it was a grad cap and gown and awards night for the resident for the 243 graduates and some fantastic award winners. I happened to be there to present the award on behalf of the town of Conception Bay South. But I was also pleased to see that you were there to receive an award yourself, that you were named Honorary Falcon for 2022. And yeah, absolutely. And you were awarded this for a number of reasons, for your long-term work with the school and the students there through athletics and other things, and your continued work there beyond your teaching days and your educational work days. You continue to support the Falcon community and the students there, and they greatly appreciated that. And they also noted that they were thanking you for all your work that you have done as an educator and working in the education system in the province. And I'm going to echo that, and I'm going to thank you for continuing the work you do on behalf of our town and our residents. And, you know, I know that there are a few people throughout the community that don't know when to stop giving back, and you're one of them. And I thank you for that and your time and the efforts that you put into council here and the work you do here and on behalf of the graduates. So congratulations. And it was a great event, and it was I was very pleased that your speech wasn't very long. You left it to the graduates to enjoy their evening. So so congratulations on that. Okay, Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm going to start off a little somber here, but I have to tell this little story. December 6, 1989. This was actually very personal for our family because my then sister-in-law was an engineering student at the Polytechnic Montreal, and she was actually there when this tragedy happened. And I remember talking to my brother that evening, and he didn't know if his wife was alive, if she was dead or anything, because everything was locked down and never heard anything. Thankfully, she heard all the commotion. She was in the stairwell and she stayed there. And that probably may have well saved her. December 6th is a National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. Today, we remember the tragedy and the victims of the Montreal massacre that brutally ended the lives of 14 women. Such a sad, tragic day. I'm so glad that she wasn't among the people that died. And on a much more pleasant note, I was at St. John the Evangelist on Sunday, along with Mr. Hillier there, our Honorary Falcon, and attended the induction of Jody Noel as rector of St. John the Evangelist, right? That's hard to say, Brex. And I must say, the celebration was wonderful. He's such a great personality, Jody is. You know, he's a wonderful, wonderful person. And I'm after seeing him about 3 times in the last month. So it's been great chatting with him. And so afterwards, we had a chance for a cup of tea and meet with the parishioners and all that for a reception. And it was a wonderful day. It started at 10:30. I never got home till 1 o'clock. I think Kevin thought I was lost. But it was a great day, and I was delighted to be there on behalf of the town. And Jody, of course, came over and was very delighted that we had attended. So I welcomed him to Topsail and to the town of Conception Bay South. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Actually, I didn't know the personal attachment that you had to the Polytechnique, and yes, it's fantastic to have the memory that you do of the survival. But it always grabs me that it takes something so horrific to focus a nation on a scourge that had been going on for far too long and continues to this day, and gender-based violence, and you know, the town here, we're as people who watched 2 weeks ago, maybe it's 3 weeks ago now, we're flying that flag. We have our town lit up, and we have our RNC station lit up, the purple, to signify that. But I didn't know that, and you know, it's a terrible thing, but you know, it's 1989. It's 30 odd years ago now, and it doesn't seem like that long. But I think that so much work by so many people since then, I hope, is helping. I hope it is. You know, we've had the Hibbs family here a few weeks ago, and they may not know if it is or not, but I commend them, because I think what they're doing is helping, and talking and awareness helps. And we keep talking about it. You keep talking about it. I think is the best that we can do in our roles. But everybody has a role in ensuring that this gets wiped out. Anyway, Councillor Connors.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Before I go into mine, is now that Councillor Hillier is an alumni of the Falcons, honorary alumni of the Falcons, will he be lacing them up for the alumni game at Winterfest at the Shield? That's the question that I would ask now. Gerard Tilley is always looking for players to help out his team over there.
I've seen Councillor Hillier skate. I don't know.
Councillor Hillier, I think you have a granddaughter that could probably help that team.
Your worship, my skating over the last couple of years has been with my granddaughter. And obviously she spends her time figure skating, and I've been taking lessons with her. My jumping is not bad. The landings aren't as good as the jumpings. So I'll stick to my figure skating as opposed to the ice hockey, Your worship.
We'll mark you down as doubtful. I want to take an opportunity tonight to congratulate a Conception Bay South resident, Claire Howie, who made history a couple of Sunday nights ago when she became the first female hockey official to put on the red armbands and referee in the St. John's Junior Hockey League, which is one of the best junior B hockey leagues in Atlantic Canada. It marks the highest level of hockey a female official has ever refereed in Newfoundland and Labrador, and Claire did this at the young age, or at 21 years old. I was fortunate enough to coach Claire coming up through when she played hockey through her playing career in CBS. And it's no surprise to me that she was the one to be the first female to actually do this and get out and referee at this level. As a player, Claire represented Conception Bay South at all levels of hockey, from house league to provincial tournaments to the AAA level, and even Atlantic Canada Championships. She's a leader on and off the ice. She exemplifies dedication, commitment, and hard work. She's a leader by example, and she really does not seek recognition for her accomplishments. She goes about and does a lot of this without seeking any type of recognition. But Claire, your hard work, dedication, commitment has now given you the opportunity, and now you are a role model for other female referees. I wanted to congratulate you on this historic accomplishment and look forward to seeing you at the rink with those red armbands on again. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Councillor Connors. Great respect for anyone that wants to referee and anybody that does, but somebody that breaks new ground like she has, and to go somewhere different and do something that no one has done before. Extra accolades, of course, because it's a fantastic thing and long overdue. And I'm glad that it was someone from CBS that did it and paves the way for others to follow, and all the best to her. Councillor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. First off, I just want to acknowledge what Councillor Tilley said, and I guess kudos to him and the committee and the town for the quick response about the frog pond issue. I guess when everyone found out about it, residents were, excuse me, very concerned, but it's, I think, great to see how quickly it was investigated and how quick staff worked with councillors to get the issue sorted. And I think residents are very appreciative of that. So thank you very much for that. Also want to recognize that CBS had a very special visitor this weekend, Santa Claus, who showed up in our parade and also at the tree lighting. And we were very fortunate the weather cooperated, and we had a lot of residents turn out for both of these events. During this year's parade, the following floats and groups were recognized as award winners. The best commercial float was Jim's Carpentry Limited. The best non-commercial float was the Girl Guides Conception Bay South District. The best walking group was the Queen Elizabeth High School cheerleading team. And the Spirit of Christmas Award was CBR Minor Hockey. So these groups will be invited to our next public council meeting to accept their plaques. So a huge congratulations to them. And for everyone who came and participated, the tree lighting was beautiful and lots of hot chocolate going around and lots of singing and dancing. So it was great to see so many people. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moores. Yes, it was a fantastic crowd came out on Saturday for those two events. A great way to kick off the season here in CBS. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Just a couple of mentions that my fellow councillors have certainly already spoke to. The community food drive that the fire department put off was so good, so well received by the kids. I know when I was there was a couple of other vehicles there, and our car was full of a lot of kids, and getting those fire hats, they literally wore those fire hats all day to every place we went shopping for the day. So those little things make such a difference to the kids in the community, and, you know, handing in the food into the people, the kids get to see that they're able to help more people. So that was a really nice day. And then the Christmas parade this past Saturday, just to see everyone out and about. It was a beautiful day. I think we had over 60 plus floats. I took that many pictures. I can't even tell how many floats we had, but just everyone was so happy. It really brought the community spirit around. Christmas is certainly in the air in CBS. So those two things I really wanted to bring forward this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. Not much for me this evening. Just wanted to recognize again all the wonderful Christmas festivities we've had going on, as Councillor Moores and others have mentioned. The parade, the tree lighting, certainly lots of fun this past weekend, and I anticipate Councillor Moores will have some more items to highlight, but certainly the toy drive, the Riley Mercer toy drive this weekend, and our forthcoming Manuel's River Light Walk is certainly things I always look forward to as well during the Christmas season. I believe the last time I mentioned this was probably the summer, but I just want to point out we do have trail counts that we actively monitor at various natural areas across the town. And even despite the winter coming, we already had nearly 20,000 visitors use our trailways in the community in November. This includes Heritage Road, Station Road, Manuel's River, Chamberlain's Park, and our town has always prided ourselves in our natural areas, and certainly as we move forward and enjoy all the winter weather has to offer, I encourage residents to stay active and keep going out and using these areas, because I think we are certainly blessed with these natural assets. So keep it up, folks. It's really great. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Just a couple of things. I did want to comment on the weekend, the parade. I think it was the longest Santa Claus parade that certainly the longest I've seen in CBS. I know there's people here been here longer than me, but it was fantastic to see so much involvement by so many of the local businesses and local groups. And it's great to see people out walking in the parade again, because I know before it was really long and it was difficult to walk, but now we're seeing some more walking groups out, and hopefully we'll see some more of them as time goes on. But it was a fantastic turnout. I was down by Dominion in front of there, and you couldn't barely see around the people to see the floats as they were going by, but we were jammed in there pretty good, and it was great to see. And then again, a little later that day, at 4 o'clock for the tree lighting ceremony, and another great group came out, and it was just wonderful to see. And you get that feeling that people are ready and want the Christmas feeling in the Christmas season to get going, and is certainly going here in Conception Bay South. I have to wonder though, I was up for breakfast with Santa on that Saturday morning down at Topsail United Church, and then I was at the parade and there was Santa, and that afternoon at the tree lighting with Santa. And I know Santa's going to be at the Kiwanis Club, I think on Sunday from 12 to 3 getting pictures, that I suspect probably in the off season that Santa lives right here in Conception Bay South. I'm not sure that anybody can dispute that. But anyways, it was a great day. And I want to mention and I know Councillor Barrett touched on it, but the 9th annual Riley Mercer Toy Drive is this Saturday, December 10th. It's on Saturday, but it's 4 o'clock at the Salvation Army Church here in CBS. And it's also, they broadcast the service online. So look, if you can't get there to see it, it's an amazing, uplifting event that truly gets people into the spirit of the season, and for all the right reasons. And if you have the ability to do so, please reach out to Louise Mercer online. She has it on her Facebook. You can donate cash if you can't get by with a gift. If you want to drop off a gift, that's absolutely wonderful as well. And I know that her work there, gathered and helped and supported by the Salvation Army, gets toys around to a few hundred families in Conception Bay South every year. And I don't know what they would do without them. They're such a fantastic part of our community, and all of this, of course, and I have to temper all of this, it's done in the memory of their children, Riley and Alex Mercer, and for them to turn such a tragedy into such a goodwill community event. I'm not sure there's anywhere in the country that can boast the goodwill that to a community like Louise and Bernie Mercer have given to Conception Bay South in the events they hold. And I look forward to being there for the 9th annual Riley Mercer Toy Drive this Saturday. And just finally, I know it was just after our last meeting, but I'm always happy to be at the opening of a new business in CBS. And I know Bernard Stanley's Gastro Pub has been here for some time, and a lot of people have been there and so forth, but they had their official opening a couple weeks ago, and it was fantastic to be there, and I wish them all the best. I know they got their deck done now, and looking forward to another hot summer in CBS next year. So maybe enjoy a meal out on the deck there at Bernard Stanley. So it's great to see them going. And also at this time of the year, I like to say this. I think we here in this town have turned shop local or support local. We've turned it in from a saying into something actually people take pride in. So hopefully you can get out and support local businesses over this holiday season here in Conception Bay South or wherever you may be, and support them as we go through the season. That is it for me. We're going to move right on to the people's business and recommendations, as always, from the Planning and Development Committee. We have Chair Councillor Rex Hillier.
Thank you, Worship. These are recommendations brought forth from our November 28th Planning and Development Committee meeting. Number 6A, 1 Gardner Drive. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's discretionary authority of Section 13B of the town's fence regulations, application number 2413 received November 10th, 2022 for a flanking street side yard fence at 1 Gardner Drive be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler. Discussion?
Your Worship, conditions for this particular recommendation are in the minutes of the Planning and Development Committee meeting.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
6B 45A Chamberlain's Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Council's discretionary authority of sections 5.32 and 5.3.12 of the town's development regulations, application number 2170 received September 1st, 2022 for an accessory building with 71.3 square meter lot coverage in the front of the dwelling at 45A Chambers Road. Be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion.
Yes, your worship, this particular application comes to us because the application asks for the accessory building to be in front of the house. And our regulations require accessory building in the back of the house unless certain conditions are met. And some of those conditions are visibility from the street, the size of the lot, and so on. So in this case, this particular lot is a long, deep lot. The house is in the back of the lot, and the accessory building is not visible from the street.
Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6C, 11 Forest Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority of section 15 of the town's fence regulations, application number 2407 received on November 7th, 2022 for a front yard fence at 11 Forest Road be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6D, 82 Lawrence Pond Road
Yeah.
East.
Excuse me, Councillor Hiller. I have to declare a conflict on that particular item as I have a family member who resides at that residence.
Yes, your worship, this is another instance where the application for dwelling for an accessory building in front of the dwelling, but again, it's a large lot. The house is in the back of the lot, and the accessory building would not be visible from the road. So be it so resolved that in accordance with council's discretionary authority of section 5.3.12 and 5.33 of the town's development regulations, application number 2322 received October 14th, 2022 for an accessory building with 93.6 square meters of lot coverage in front of the dwelling at 82 Lawrence Pond Road East be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6E, 174 Garden Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 10.7 and 10.10.2 of the town's development regulations, application number 2217 received on September 16th, 2022 for a hobby farm use to keep a horse and a goat at 174 Garden Road be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion.
Yes, your worship, this is a residential lot, but it's a larger lot, and it comes with several conditions. One being that the applicant will submit and get approval for a manure management plan for the hobby farm, and that the applicant will register with the provincial farm premises identification program.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6F. Be it so resolved that the report and recommendation of Commissioner Jepchek respecting municipal plan amendment number 25, 2022 and development regulations amendment number 43, 2022 as 1621 to 1627 Conception Bay Highway be accepted as presented. And further be it resolved that under the authority of section 23 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the Town Council of Conception Bay South approves municipal plan amendment number 25, 2022 and development regulations amendment number 43, 2022 as adopted.
Seconder, Councillor Connors, discussion.
Yes, your worship, this is a rezoning on the main road in Seal Cove from R2 to residential mixed. The intent of the applicant is to build 2 8-unit apartment buildings in that area. So we're bringing this forward on the recommendation of the commission.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6G, be it so resolved that the report and recommendation of Commissioner Jepchecks respecting Municipal Plan Amendment number 20, 2022 and Development Regulations Amendment number 38, 2022 as 73 Cherry Lane be accepted as presented. And further, be it resolved that under the authority of Section 23 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the Town Council of Conception Bay South approves Municipal Plan Amendment number 20, 2022 and Development Regulations Amendment number 38, 2022 as adopted. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors, discussion?
Yes, your worship, this is a rezoning application or rezoning process that we've been some time bringing it to a vote. There were some issues there we're trying to get settled before we brought it to a vote. At this point in time, we're prepared to make a recommendation for acceptance. There's a situation there where in order to access the property to build a single house, the proponent asked to rezone from R1 to R2 to give them the appropriate frontage for that piece of property for a single dwelling.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Excuse me, Mayor Bent, there's an item on the next, on the committee report that I am in conflict as a member of my family is involved in one of the projects that's listed there.
Okay, and which one is it, Deputy Mayor? Yeah.
I believe the blanket recommendation is referring to 22-24 Cherry Lane. Is that the one I declared conflict in previous?
Okay.
Yes, your worship. Finally, the blanket recommendation or the minutes of the Planning and Development Committee meeting. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on December 28, 2022 be accepted as presented, and the following items were those that were discussed at that meeting. So move.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it for me, your worship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Recommendations of Engineering and Public Works Committee Chair, Councillor Gerard Tilley.
Thank you, worship. Just a blanket recommendation this evening. And before getting into that, we just an update, capital project update. I think most of our capital works projects are nearing completion for the year. Our water statistics, I believe they were provided to us in the committee meeting, and all is well at this point in time. Our winter control operations review, I believe, Jennifer, that is on that's on the town's website. Our operations review, like all of our equipment, that kind of stuff, what we got out, that kind of stuff. Okay. And of course, we had a request to look at some stormwater system on Poppy's Lane, and we're dealing with an issue with snow clearing on Palmer Place. And that is about it. So the Blackham recommendation. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations made at the Engineering Public Works Committee meeting on November 29, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion. I notice Councillor Tilley gets colder, your committee reports get shorter. Work season coming to an end.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee Chair, Councillor Shelley Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. 8A, approval to call tender mechanical controls and service agreement for the Conception Bay South Town Hall and Fire Station 1. Be it so resolved that the town proceed to call a tender for the mechanical controls and service agreement contracts for Conception Bay South Town Hall and Fire Station 1. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hardy, discussion?
The current mechanical controls and service agreement is set to expire in January 2023. So staff are requesting approval to call for tender for the new agreement. The new agreement will be for a 3-year term with the potential for extension to a maximum of 2 years.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
8B, recommendation transferred from the COW meeting, the 2022 Recreation Culture Master Plan. Be it so-
Counselor Moores, I'll interrupt you as I'm in
Oh, sorry.
declared a conflict on this matter, so I'll go to the back and Deputy Mayor Goss can chair.
Okay. The 2022 Recreation and Cultural Master Plan, be it so resolved that the 2022 Recreation and Cultural Master Plan be adopted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Butler. Discussion?
Yeah, so the town has adopted a new recreation culture master plan to help guide the strategic planning and development of facilities, parks, arts and culture and new programs over the next several years. It has been developed to meet the needs of the growing community. And I would like to point out this is a plan, like guidelines for us to follow over the next few years. The plan is a long-term strategy that identifies the greatest needs and opportunities for the municipality, outlining 31 overall recommendations that council will review and consider along with an implementation plan. Recreation services in Conception Bay South will continue to support and foster quality of life, diversity, sustainability, and inclusivity. So this plan will be posted, if it's not already, on our website tomorrow.
Okay. All in favor? Oh,
Oh, we get an opportunity to speak
Yes,
to
go
the
ahead.
motion. No, it's great to see this coming forward, something that we've been waiting on for some time, and various, I guess, forces slowed it down, and it's great to get it here and get it done tonight. Going through it, you pick out a whole lot of items. You talk about 37 recommendations, 31 recommendations, covering everything from a community center, playgrounds, fees, and on and on. We go back to our last recreation master plan, and we keep saying recreation, but it is recreation culture master plan because we're trying to include the arts in this piece as well. It's time that we had a look at where we're going with the arts in Conception Bay South. But we go back to our last master plan. Some people say, well, you make these big reports, you put them on the shelf, forget all about them. But the biggest wish coming out of the last recreation master plan was a place for people to walk safely in Conception Bay South. And you think about what's been done here in the last 10 years in terms of trails, the trailway through the town, the off trails at Manuels River, the off trails at Kiwanis, the walking track at the stadium. So those things came out of the last master plan, and we'd like to think that a lot of the things that are in this master plan will come out as well. One of the things that it's interesting we've been talking about in planning is this whole concept of neighborhood connectivity, where we now have a trailway going through the town, which our consultant talked about as the spine, and now to be able to put regulations in our new municipal plan so that all new developments will tie into that spine. So we've got trails coming off that along all the riverways, the brookways running through our town. So it's just another step that you got to be excited about to see this coming forward. So it's great to see it this evening.
I will point out that one of the things that is definitely a main focus for this one is the cultural amenities and accessibility, and in combination with the indoor and outdoor facilities, which is what we heard from residents. So it is a very exciting time that we now have something that we can reference and look forward to.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to speak to on the cultural recreation master plan? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contramanded? Motion carried.
All right, so the last thing for me is a blanket statement. Before I do that, I just want to point out a couple of events that are happening. On Thursday of this week, the town will be hosting the Seniors Christmas Social at the Royal Canadian Legion from 12 to 3 with musical entertainment from Brian Finn. Also, the CBS Squash Club and the Recreation Complex will host the Riley Mercer Invitational from December 8th to 11th. This annual tournament, which is held every year, also coincides with the annual fundraising and toy drive in memory of Riley Mercer. Traditionally, this tournament has only been a junior tournament, but this year the CBS Club are going to expand by adding a senior division, which is quite exciting. And also I think Councillor Barrett mentioned earlier, but the Manuels River Light Walk will be starting December 15th, which I know everyone's excited about. So those are just a few upcoming events, and there are more listed in the minutes. So the blanket statement, be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee meeting of November 29th, 2022 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moores. Recommendations of Financial and Administrative Services Committee Chair, Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. So these are the recommendations that came out of our Financial Administrative Services Committee meetings. First one, 9A, is accounts payable checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $176,352.72 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9B is the manual checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $58,342.20. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hillier, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9C, direct payments register. Be it so resolved that the approval be given to ratify direct payments totaling $679,965.17. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion?
Just paying the bills.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay, next item. Okay. Sorry. Next item, 9D, is our capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $862,104.72 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion?
Mayor Bent, this is our capital works projects. They're all winding up, and these are payments to the contractors, to the engineering firms. And as you can see, it's quite a list, but we've done an awful lot of work in the town this year. So we're getting to the end of it.
Yep, most of it paying the bills for that water and sewer project and knocked 4 streets off the priority list this year, which is great.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9E, tax and other receivable adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivable accounts as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion?
These are just some adjustments that came forward from staff. The accounts that have been reviewed for different reasons. Adjustments have been recommended to be approved, and some have not been approved. It's just standard business when, from the tax department.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9F is our procurement policy update. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adopt the procurement policy as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Tilley, discussion?
Last year, the town had a procurement review, which is done periodically. And you know, there's just some minor little updates to the policy to fit in with the recommendations of the review.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And 9G, procurement card policy update. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adopt the procurement card policy as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hillier, discussion.
And this was just a review of the policy and an update, which is done periodically to tie into the procurement policy.
Thank you. All in favor?
If I could
Sorry.
add, just to clarify, Deputy, this isn't necessarily a result of change in provincial legislation or anything. It's just more or less the delegation of authority as to who can purchase whatever amount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9H is a capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay the capital invoices totaling $124,114.33 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Butler. Discussion.
And this was just a couple of invoices that came in since our committee meeting that we approved in our committee of the whole earlier this evening because of, this is pertain to the lift station upgrades project that's been ongoing. And so we brought them at committee of the whole to get them approved and get them paid.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And the last is the department report. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee of the November 28th, 22 meeting be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Barrett, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Mayor Bent, before I finish, I just want to take a minute to let everyone know that our budget day is December the 20th. And we will be, our budget will be released at 6 p.m. that evening on our YouTube channel. And we will follow up with our regular council meeting at 7 p.m. So just want to let everyone know that December 20th, budget day. And we're a bit later than we were last year in bringing down our budget. But there we've put a lot of time and effort and meetings and a lot of consults with our staff in working through this budget. It's not been an easy time. Lots of things have been analyzed and looked over and discussed and we just want to thank the staff for their hard work that they have done over the last number of weeks, 5-6 weeks. And together we're bringing down our budget, December 20th, 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Goss. Yes, and so we'll be doing a bit of double duty that night. The budget will be released at 6 for all to see on our YouTube channel, and then we'll go into our regular public council meeting at 7. So there'll be a little bit of a break there. So it'll probably come in as 2 different videos. When you're logging into our YouTube channel, you'll see the budget. And then for 7 o'clock, you'll have to click on to see the 7 o'clock public council meeting. And there'll be further discussion, of course, as there always is about budgets at that meeting as well. So thank you for that. And thank you for the work that the department has been doing on this big document for this year. I know it's a difficult year, but lots of people involved, lots of work and lots of good thoughts around the table as well to finalize and get to the end of the process. But we're still a couple of weeks away. So I guess it's 2 weeks tonight. We'll get that document out and I'm sure it'll be ready in time. It's just a bit of preparation in between here and there. Okay. Recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee. Chair, Councillor Christine Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Before I read the blanket recommendation, I'd just like to elaborate on a few things that were discussed at it. And as always, a little good news. Business Recognition Program. We want to hear about business and commercial property owners who have been providing service to our community for 50+ years. If you know of such a place that has been operating since 1973, please let us know. We would love to capture your story and highlight the businesses during our 50th anniversary celebrations. An update on the backyard composting program. The Multi-Material Stewardship Board has launched its backyard composting program. The town will be taking pre-orders for the purchase of 2 types of tumblers through our online purchasing portal until noon on Monday, January 9th. The bins are expected to be received in April, and residents who purchase are encouraged to participate in an orientation session prior to picking up their bin. And with the Christmas season upon us and shopping in full swing, we'd like to encourage you to support our local business community this season. There are many options for anyone on your Christmas list, as well as opportunities to drop a few dollars into the Salvation Army kettles or toys or food items to various organizations that are collecting for those in need within our town. And lastly, I want to send out a congratulations to S&L Porter Homes. At the recent awards ceremony held by Canadian Home Builders Association, S&L Porter Homes, owned by Steve Porter, was awarded the 2022 Rooftopper of the Year Award. This award is presented to the member who recruits the most members to the association throughout the year. Steve Porter receiving this award speaks to his commitment to the growth of the construction sector and is a testament to his vision and longevity as a home builder and business owner in a dynamic and competitive industry. Congratulations, Steve, and thank you for being such a proud ambassador within our town. And our blanket recommendation: be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Economic Development Tourism Committee meeting of November 29, 2022 be accepted as presented, and you'll see a list of items there that were discussed. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion? All in favor?
Oh, sorry, if I could, Your Worship and Chairperson, this is in the minutes, and so I will just briefly mention it, and depending on the future of this initiative, I'll chat a bit more, but just want to point out, the town continues to explore opportunities to help with our sustainability initiatives and pursuing green economy activities. And one of the projects that we are exploring is with Proponent on Seaweed, and the potential that has for economic development and addressing climate change. And so this have been coming together over the past couple of weeks. We were partnering with the Proponent, and the Proponent is applying for funds. And so certainly if that funding comes forward, we may have some more that we want to promote on that front, but stay tuned.
Okay, any other committee reports this evening? Does anybody? Yes, Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Our Visions Employment, the town representative, we met last week. We have a new executive that got voted in, and I was elected as the treasurer. We also have some more opportunities here in CBS if there's any job coaches who are looking for employment in the CBS downtown business area. So if anyone is interested in becoming a job coach to folks with intellectual disabilities, certainly reach out to the Visions Employment because they do have right now here on the Avalon 6 positions that they're looking for. So just want to put that out there if there's anyone in CBS looking to become a job coach.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Morris, did you have something? Yeah.
Yeah, I had a downtown CBS meeting last week. So I think I mentioned last time, but they are still looking for 2 members to fill positions on the board. They're also working on a photography portfolio, I guess, where once they choose a photographer, they'll be highlighting or getting photography from different businesses and across our community to highlight throughout the year, which I think would be very nice. So they are working on a lot of different things, and you'll probably hear them on the radio because they're doing some media ads to highlight downtown CBS. So it's pretty exciting. So if you know of anybody interested in being on the board, please put their names forward.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor Moores and Councillor Barrett.
Yes, your worship. Just a note that the Parks Commission held their AGM on, my apologies, it was November 29th. The evening, no, November 29th. I'm happy to see the deputy mayor made it out, and just want to, I mean, these things are all very formal, where you need to pass minutes and whatnot, and kind of provide a recap of the year. But I just wanted to say, these entities, Manuel's River, Keep, Chandler's Park, Community Garden, Rotary, I mean, these consist of volunteers with very low fiscal capacity, very labor intensive work, and it's really a labor of love. And I just want to recognize all the work that they do. I mean, it's really like, this is the stuff that brings a quality of life to our community, having these, as Councillor Hillier mentioned, these trailways, being able and having accessible places to enjoy our community. And I just wanted to publicly thank all of them, all the volunteers in our community involved with our parks and our trailways. They don't do it for the glory or any of that. It is truly a labor of love, and it's been a pleasure to be involved with that committee over the past year and get to know these folks more. And I just wanted to say that we don't comment on enough, but the value that they provide through these areas is really a huge asset for our town. So thanks to everybody involved in that capacity.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Barrett. Any further committee reports before we wrap up? Okay, so we are through the business of the agenda tonight, and we'll be back here again in 2 weeks on Tuesday, December 20th. And just a reminder, 6 o'clock for the budget, 7 o'clock for the public council meeting. I can't imagine anywhere else you'd want to be on the 20th of December, but joining us here at council or tuning in to see it. So could I have a motion for adjournment? Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Hardy. All in favor? Contrary minded? Thank you and good night.